This is Becca Hammond, and you're listening to the Burlington Talks podcast. What's new, 802? The Burlington Talks podcast may include graphic or explicit content. Listener discretion is advised. Hi, this is Becca Hammond, and this is the second interview on Burlington Talks. And I'm here today with Jessie Taylor, the front person in the Jessie Taylor Band, where she sings and also plays guitar. The band just recently won a contest and will be making an album with Plaid Dog Recording in Boston. Besides that, Jessie also plays out as a solo artist. Jessie, thank you very much for being on the show today. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Would you like to just tell me a few things about yourself, whatever you want to share?
Sure. So I've been in Burlington for 7 years now. I moved here from Maine. I grew up in Gray, Maine, right outside of Portland. I have always been a singer, but I never really was into writing songs or playing music until my early 20s. So that's been kind of a newer thing since I moved here.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been playing guitar in total?
5 years. Like,
really?
Intentionally. Like, you know, my dad was always playing guitar. I had guitars around the house.
Okay.
Would, like, try to hand me one. You know, I'd, like, maybe, like,
so
pluck the strings, but I never.
By osmosis.
Yeah, I never like put the time in. You know.
Cool.
I just never wanted to practice, or really, I wasn't into it. I wasn't ready, I guess.
So, did you do formal lessons? Did you teach yourself?
Yeah, I guess you could say I'm self-taught.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you can basically learn anything online these days.
I know, it's kind of true.
I find that with Ultimate Guitar has always been my.
Yep.
I've gone there since I was 12 probably.
Mm-hmm.
I found that one. I was like, this is the place. This is where I can find every song I'll ever need to play.
Yeah. I guess though vocally I did take voice lessons, and I would say that that's like my main instrument. And when I did start writing songs or realized that songwriting was a thing for me, it kind of felt like more of a vehicle to write the songs with, like guitar playing. I was like, I gotta learn to accompany myself if I'm gonna play out.
Yeah, that's great. Well, it definitely gives you a more rounded show experience than if you were just going to play by yourself. And then you don't have to rely on a band or someone else to be there with you. Yep. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. When did you take vocal lessons?
Probably like middle school, high school. Probably high school. Yeah.
And was it a long-term thing, or did you just do it for
I think I just kind of like did a few and was like figuring out if I liked, like I did drama. I wasn't really normally into that, but I like was thinking about the musicals because I liked to sing. And
right.
Yeah, I always did chorus and chamber choir and whatever in high school, so I just was like
awesome,
rolling with it. My parents got me a few lessons. Mr. Tweety. I thought that was funny. That was my vocal teacher.
Wow, that's a very apt name for someone who teaches people to sing.
No.
That's great. Cool. So that was all in Maine that you were taking those lessons. Yep. So you haven't done anything when you were in your 20s, any formal lessons?
I took a couple when I moved here just to like refresh because I kind of took a few years off from like singing and
yeah, understandable.
You know, whatever. When I was like, am I gonna go to college? Those years of weirdness. So then I did take a couple lessons when I moved here. I just like found somebody through a friend and took a couple lessons to kind of get back into it. So
where did you take the lessons from, if you don't mind my asking?
Samara Lark Brown. I don't know if she is currently teaching, but she teaches and is
Yeah,
she studied voice in California. Yeah, she's great.
Cool. Yeah, that's
Definitely
always awesome to hear about.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard a few different places around town that people like going, and I've never taken formal lessons since I've been an adult. I always took them when I was in high school. It was just super convenient back then. It's
pretty fun. And then, like you said, on YouTube, so like before shows now I have this like 8-minute vocal warm-up that I really like.
Oh, really?
Awesome. That's just like a YouTube video that's like, you know, Mommy made me mash my M&M's or whatever.
That's great.
So just finding a few that you like, because it really helps to just get it all moving.
Right, just practice.
Yeah.
Have you seen these new apps that teach you how to sing? Have you tested these out at all?
No.
I managed to download one just on a whim. It's
like Smule or something.
No, this one was called Musician, and I downloaded it because it said it would give you bass exercises or guitar exercises and vocal exercises, all using the magic of your phone's microphone. And I was actually really surprised at how accurate it was. It would tell you if you were on key or if you were on beat. it could tell if I was just playing my acoustic bass, which I didn't plug in at all just to see if it could hear it. It actually did. It was really funny. I don't really take it extremely seriously because having a real teacher would be way better. But it was a lot of fun because it was kind of like Guitar Hero for your voice.
That's cool.
And it would score you.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. Cool. So let's talk about
JTB. Where did it all begin? I guess full band began probably like 2 years ago, but I would say I started playing out like 5 years ago? 5 or 6 years ago now? What year would that have been? 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014 into 2015.
So
I think.
a year or so after you moved back, or pretty soon after?
Yeah, a couple years after I moved here. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where was your first show at? I'm super curious.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Well, because I played a lot. Well, my first hour-long set was at Drink Bar, which I don't even think they have music anymore.
They used to.
They used to. I met
valid.
some people at Manhattan open mic, and like the list was full. And at this point, I didn't know anybody in town, and like whatever. I wasn't gonna get to play the 15-minute time slot or whatever that you play at open mic. So this guy was like, "You want to play tomorrow night at Drink Bar for an hour?" I was like, "Oh my god, an hour? Do I even have an hour of song?"
You just stretch it.
Yeah. So anyway, I did that, and that was my first like hour-long set. And I was like, "Well, I guess I can play for an hour. That's cool." And then from there, I booked a show. I think at Radio Bean might have been the first show I booked here.
Awesome. That one's one I've heard a lot of bands say
Yeah.
that was their first place they played.
Yeah. And then in Portland, Maine, I was playing with somebody who I had gone to high school with for a little while. And we played a show at Flask Lounge in Portland, too, so that was kind of fun.
Awesome.
But I have yet to play a show there. I haven't played a show in Portland in probably 4 or 5 years, so...
Well, you gotta get...
I'll have to bring the band there.
I was gonna say, gotta get the guys with you. You guys got a little bit of gas money. You
Yeah.
can swing up that way after Boston.
Totally. So I guess, yeah, I was doing the solo thing. I was playing piano. It's kind of where it started.
Cool. I didn't know you played piano.
Yeah, which also, I took a few lessons when, like, 5th grade. My parents were, like, trying to coax me into playing music, which I'm grateful for. I just wasn't into it at the time. I don't know. You're like a kid and you're like in band and you don't want to practice your saxophone solo,
Yeah, very understandable when you're 10, 12.
Yeah.
Life is just full of interesting things.
Yeah.
And being forced into doing anything, no matter how cool it is, maybe that's not cool enough for you when you're 12.
I was definitely in my room listening to lots of music, though. So definitely music has always been in my life for sure. So then I kind of, at a couple open mics, sometimes there was a house drummer who would, like, play along, and I was like, damn, this is really cool if the songs could, like, have way more life.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun playing with people.
Yeah. So I was playing with this guy who I went to high school with for a while, Dave, and we did this, like, Jesse and Dave kind of, like, piano, and he played guitar, for a while, and we played some of my songs and some of his songs, and then that ended up not really working out. Just, like, we both were kind of trying to do our own thing, and it wasn't...
Yep, understandable.
So then from there, I was like, well, I guess I want to do my own thing and make my own band and play the songs, and from there, I just, Craigslist, good old Craigslist ad.
Yep, start finding everybody.
Yeah. And then through people, I had a couple friends from work. Like, at this point, it's funny, it's been 2 years now, and there's already, like, this iteration of Jesse Taylor Band is not anybody that was originally in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know that either.
So, it's just, like, life, and it's hard to commit, and shit happens, and whatever. So, it's been funny. It's only been a couple years, and just...
Being in a band is a serious commitment if you want to go out and record and have that sound that you sound serious. That's a serious commitment. I've been in bands where I've played the same song for 8 hours straight, and you don't sound that good if you don't put in that time, and it's not really a hobby thing if that's what you're going for. So,
right.
Yep, very understandable.
So, right people, right time, and it's a lot, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, the contest is so awesome. Congrats on
Thank
winning
you.
that. That's such a cool thing.
Yeah, so that was after, like, it was like 6 months of playing with this new iteration and thinking about recording. Because I had recorded an EP last year, 80 Degrees in October, at Robot Dog Studio, another studio with dog in the name.
Was that also in Boston?
No, that's here in Williston, actually,
cool.
in Vermont, yeah. And that was something that I just was like, all right, it's been a few years, I have no music out there, I need to, like, get something. So I just, tried to figure out the best way to just get in the studio and record. I was just going to do a single.
Right.
Because there was, like, some promo, a couple $100 to record a single. But then once we were in there, I was like, shit, we're in here. Like, let's just record a couple songs. Like,
Right.
It's like, we can pay hourly and whatever. So we ended up doing a whole EP. And that was really great. And I played most of the songs on acoustic. And then after that, our drummer at the time moved to Japan. And then, like, the guitar player left the band. And it just, like, kind of had to feel like I was starting over again. And then, Matt joined the band and the sound kind of started to shift a little bit. I was playing more electric guitar. So it was kind of starting to just, morph a little bit, I guess, as bands do.
Right.
And then so I was thinking about recording again, a year later. I'm like, damn, we need some, like, relative material, some new stuff. And then that's when we saw the Plaid Dog thing that was like, send us a video of what you have recorded and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whatever, I'll send them our thing. And
right, just try it. Yeah. Why not? You've already got, I'm assuming, did you already have a couple things, like, just quick recordings you had done?
Yeah. So
easy peasy. Send it over.
Yep. So they loved it, and we're like, let's do it. And that was a lot of, honestly, I'm like, wow, I can't believe here we are, like, November 23rd, and we're, like, done with the campaign, because we started talking to the studio and planning for it, like, in June, July.
Yeah, and from the sounds of it, it was a huge mountain of work.
It
so
was
looking
a lot.
At it from that end and now being done, it probably
I can't
feels
believe,
good.
Yeah. I'm so glad to be on this side. It was definitely a lot.
Well, that's awesome. And I'm sure everyone who donated and everyone else in the community is excited to hear what you're going to come out with.
Yeah.
And did Matt say you guys are going to record in the spring? You're going to start recording?
Yeah, we're thinking it's going to be the spring.
Awesome.
So the studio is pretty cool. It's like the only studio in the country based on crowdsourcing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's right in Boston?
Yep, it's in Alston. So I guess right outside of Boston.
I know nothing of anything other than Vermont, so I'll have to take your word
Yeah.
for it.
Oh yeah, so there's a couple projects ahead of us that, like, successfully did their thing, and they gotta get in the studio, so we're just trying to book our time, hopefully.
Yep.
As soon as we can, February, March, and yeah, should be out in the spring, I hope. Yeah.
Is everything that Plaid Dog does the same sort of crowdsourcing platform where they have a contest, they find somebody, or is this, do some people just come forward and ask them?
I think some people come forward and ask. You can, like, submit. I think they have, like, a rolling submission.
Okay, that makes sense.
I think they do, like, 30 projects a year or something.
You're just the lucky dogs who
yeah.
want all the promotion and help with this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then additionally, I think, people can go to the studio to get, like, mixing and mastering services and not do, I'm sure they take money.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you just record your own pieces
Yeah.
and give them the raw files,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a whole side, other side of their business.
But they're the crowdsourcing experts. They definitely have the whole marketing plan and
well, it sounds
help
like
you do the whole.
They pulled through for you guys.
Yeah,
that
for
sounded
sure.
like it worked perfectly and was exactly what you were hoping for.
And we get to keep 100% of our rights too, which is like, at first I'm like skeptical about like what is the studio that we don't really have to pay for, but they help you.
Right.
They help
you never know.
Them,
they could be claiming that. And then
so
that's not really the deal they're going
as
for.
As soon as we found out it was like all good in that area, we were like, let's do it. I want to record music and I don't really have bunch of money to take out of my pocket to record an album, so
yeah, and that expertise is something else, because I've recorded a couple EPs with little bands and it sounded okay, but it wasn't a high level production that you could tell that a producer looked at or listened to, I should say, and worked on. You definitely get a very different vibe from somebody's basement versus going to a real studio where they really know what they're doing. So yeah, it's much, much better if you can do it in a real studio. It sounds great. And then it's I think that's more what people pay more money for, is that high audio quality.
Yeah.
So if you can deliver that, that's awesome. And if the fans are literally the ones paying for it, then you know they are going to want to buy it.
Yep.
So, Jesse, can you tell me about your cover band called Laser Dog?
Dad.
Oh, I messed it up. Okay, Jesse.
It's hard to keep track, like all these dogs in the studios and the dads, and you know.
Laser Dad. Let me fix that. Okay, Jesse, can you tell me a little bit about Laser Dad? What is Laser Dad about?
Laser Dad is all about the 90s. So it is super fun. I knew the guitar player just like through, you know, I think we had jammed together a few years ago, just like looking for people to play with and whatnot. And they had formed this band like a year ago, and their singer, Alex, was moving to New York City. So he reached out and was like, oh, I heard 80 Degrees in October. I loved your AP. You know, we're doing this 90s project. Would you be interested in singing some 90s songs? And I was like, yes. I didn't even have to think about it.
Yes, seriously.
And then he sent me the set list, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's like...
Can you give a couple of the
sure.
songs?
Yeah, I mean, we do some No Doubt, Don't Speak, You Ought to Know, Alanis,
serious 90s.
Third Eye Blind, you know.
90s soul music.
Yeah, No Scrubs.
Yes, that is one of my favorites.
She's so high.
Yes.
It's great. So it's really fun to be able to kind of step away from seriousness of songwriting and vulnerability of singing your own songs. And not that you're not feeling those feelings when you're singing someone else's songs, but you know what I mean. It's fun to get with a group of people and play covers and be with a crowd who knows and loves all the songs.
Exactly.
And,
if the people already know the songs, they're just open to singing them out loud with you.
And it's great. I wear the fanny pack and everything.
Awesome.
So
this sounds so much fun. Do you guys play out often? Yeah,
we play out pretty often. So we have actually... Cool. There's a weekend in December. I didn't know if we were going to do this at the end. I was going to plug some shows.
Yeah, we'll probably do a whole show plugging and
cool.
Contact details also for the band.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds amazing, though. So you're wearing a fanny pack. You're singing songs that we all know off the radio.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's good.
How many people are in this band?
5 of us.
So you've been in a few months, it sounds like.
I've been in almost I guess I joined last January, so
okay.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. Awesome.
Yep.
So let's talk about your songwriting process. You've mentioned it a couple times. What's it like? Is it very personal to you? Is anyone else involved from the band?
It's pretty personal. It's weird. Like today... Like, it's always when I feel like I'm never going to write a song again, that, like, finally I'll get some little lyric or some little, like, chord progression that I like or something. So that happened this morning, so I was just trying to, like, you asked me that, and I was like, it's back a little bit, but, like, it still wasn't a whole song. So I'd say, it's, like, fleeting. It comes in waves, and sometimes the muses come, and I'll write a whole song, and sometimes they come for 5 minutes, and I'll get a little snippet of something. So I would say mostly... It's like a stream of consciousness for me. Like when I feel like writing, I'll like pick up my guitar and just like write. And oftentimes those lyrics in the moment are really great. So I'll just record that on my phone and then like go back and listen.
Cool. I've always respected people who manage to just sing something on
the
spot and have it actually be usable later.
Yeah. Or, I'll be like reading about something and thinking about something and then be able to kind of write a song about it. I can definitely be like, I want to write a song about this and sit down and do it. But I think the best songs for me are when it's just like something that needs to come out in some sort of way.
Yeah, you're expressing some sort of emotion or a thought. You just need to express something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've written a little bit of music myself, and it's always so weird how the same exact thing that you're describing, where it's like suddenly I'll write lines and I'll feel really good about all of them, and sometimes I'll think of 2 lines and then I'll scrape and try and keep writing and it's terrible. Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting how different people write, because I hear some people can just write in a group, and that one's always so interesting to me when people can just bounce off each other and just do that. So nothing like that with you guys?
I mean, sometimes, you know, or I'll come in with unfinished ideas and we'll work through like structure stuff, but I think for the most part I do a lot of it by myself. Not that I'm like against working with a group. I just think it's like, I don't know, personal thing.
Yeah, and I mean, they're your lyrics.
Yeah.
Yep, totally understood. Do you want to talk about the album a little more? Because all the songs are written on the album already, correct?
Yes.
Is there a general theme about it or anything in particular tying them all together besides
Not
time?
particularly. One of the songs, the single that we put out, Adore You, that you can listen to, is actually an older song. Like, it's one of the first songs that I wrote on guitar. I actually wrote it on my dad's guitar before I even had one, like on Christmas Eve down in my parents' basement. I remember that for some reason. But so that's kind of cool because that's a song that I didn't really like think much about, and it's just from so long ago that now is really cool. I'm like playing with a whole band and means a lot to a lot of different people, which is the cool thing about music. Is like at the time maybe it meant a certain thing for me, but now it could mean something totally different.
Oh yeah, completely.
And then the other songs are definitely like more new, like in the past year or 2 years. So I think it'll be like a good balance of like some older stuff and then some really fresh new material.
Cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a general plan of how you're going to attack the recording process, or are you just going to let the guys at Plaid Dog do their thing and tell you guys what to do?
Yeah, with the single we kind of like, you know, we had it already how I had originally written it. And then I talked to the producer and we just kind of decided, you know, we're going to do like a double chorus at the end instead of just like ending on one chorus and just ending. We're gonna do like a double chorus and then like fade out on the instrumental or like whatever, just like some little changes like that.
No lyric rewrites though.
No, yeah,
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, so pretty much as it is, and then kind of build. It depends, like you can either go in and record the song all together and do it live and then kind of like do it from there. Like I'll keep my acoustic guitar track, not keep anything else, and then like Matt will go in and listen to that and lay down the drum track, and then kind of like you just build from there. So I think that's probably how we'll do it. I would think, yeah.
I wanted to ask you how you describe your musical genre. Like, what's your style? Because there's so many different subgenres now.
I know, that's like my least favorite question, to be honest, because I don't know what to say.
If you just had to pick like adjectives to describe what you think of your music and what you want to be.
You just said "wanna be," and I was like, well, that's another song we do in Laserhead. I don't know. I mean, well, you said adjectives, but I guess like back to genre, I would say like indie rock, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, because that's what Matt said, and I was so curious if you guys were going to come out with the same terms.
Honest rock, I've said before, because it is like some of the songs are lyrically driven, and I kind of have this like spoken word thing I do sometimes. I don't know if you've listened to like Courtney Barnett at all, where she'll kind of like
a little bit
go into like rambly spoken and then like go back into singing and stuff.
Funny.
So yeah, I guess I would say like honest rock. There's a couple songs that kind of have more of a punk vibe to them.
That's what I noticed at your show.
Yeah.
That's why I was so curious what you guys were going to say, because I felt some punk moments. And then there was moments where I could hear, like, you've got
pop rock.
Yeah, like there's so many different flavors happening.
Yeah, what would you say?
Because there was seconds. There was just moments in songs where I could hear just a touch of, like, folk in your voice.
Yeah.
And then I said something to Matthew about that, and he said that you sing everything and you originally write with an acoustic guitar, so it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then he comes back and says that he likes to add a little bit of the pop rock to kind of give it some bounce.
Yeah.
Like, I can hear all of these different things happening. And just rock, pop, punk in general. There's definitely a punk feel to a few of the songs you played.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just this anamorphous rock entity that's really cool, but I wasn't sure what to call it. I didn't want to define it for you.
I like that. What did you say? Anamorphous rock?
Yeah, entity.
Entity. I like that. I like that.
I like honest rock, too. Honest rock band. That's a good one. I can use that if I want to add more to the intro later.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anamorphous, honest rock band. Excluding your own music for a little bit now, what is your favorite show that you've ever been to in the area?
Well, there's been so many great shows here. I love Lake Street Dive, and I first got into them, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. I saw them play at the Friendly Gathering. Like, it wasn't a very big, they weren't really huge yet. So that was a really amazing show, and I got to, like, hug Rachel Price, and, like, cool. I really was, like, into her style of singing for a long time, and I kind of had to, like, take a break from it because I was, like, starting to, like, almost, like, mimic her voice. Not, like, intentionally, but, like, I was, like, singing along to that album.
Right.
Bad Self Fortress so many times that I just was, like, going there, so I saw them again over the summer at the waterfront, and that was really amazing to see them again, like, after 5 years, and they have another band member and just have really grown a lot.
Awesome.
So that was really cool. I would say that's one of them. And then when Meryl, I guess that was before you were here. Was it? No, Memorial. I'm getting my Maine and Vermont venues confused. Memorial Auditorium. It's not a thing anymore, I guess. It's still there, but they don't have shows there anymore.
Yes. Okay, I do know what you're talking about. I have heard whispers.
And, like, 242 Main, and they used to have a bunch of...
I did get to go to a couple shows at 242 when I was a kid.
I saw Modest Mouse there, which was... I love Modest Mouse, so that was, like, a great show. For me, like, it actually wasn't, like, an amazing, like, sound-wise show, but, like, just for me, like,
the experience.
To see,
yeah. That's... I would say it's half of the experience of the show.
Yeah.
Because you could sometimes go to a show that sonically didn't sound great, but it was your favorite person in the world, so it really doesn't matter. Or it could sound so good and you have no idea who they are that it makes them your favorite person in the world. Yeah, like, I've never been to shows at so many of the different places that, like, people start playing. I've still never been to Radio Bean. I walk by it all the time.
Arts Riot right over here?
I've eaten food there once, but I never got to see a show there, which is so sad. I need to go.
Yeah.
I'm a shut-in. I don't
December
know a lot
14th,
of people.
Laser Death.
Yes. Cool. Oh, so now your favorite show that you guys have put on, either solo or with the band, where was your favorite?
One of them, I guess, would be, like, sometimes I like little, like, DIY basement-y shows more than, like, a bar where people are not, they're, like, drinking and not really paying attention or doing their own thing. Right, or they're just, like, there. Yeah. There was a show we played at the Gloom Garden in Winooski, and there was a few other bands there, and there wasn't that many people there, but everyone that was there was just, like, standing right in front of us, like, all listening really intently. And then there was one song where they, like, all, like, grabbed, they put their arms around each other and were, like, swaying while we were, like, playing the slower song, and it just was amazing. So I was like, wow, I really appreciate sometimes a little listening room show more than, the big shows are fun too. But
oh yeah, the intimate, like, you feel like you're singing to these people, and they really appreciate it.
You are. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of living in Burlington?
Probably the community aspect of it. I think growing up, everybody throughout, like, their adolescence and growing up years is, like, trying to fit in or dealing with what that really means to them, and whatever, when we all just gotta, figure out how to belong to ourselves anyway, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I moved around schools a lot, and I never really knew what I liked to do, and I finally feel like when I moved here, I've, like, been able to find my people and find my things that I like, and, I find my coffee shops that I like to go to, and my yoga studio that I go to and teach at, and have met so many amazing people through that and through music. And
cool. I didn't know you taught yoga.
I guess
that's
there was
awesome.
another thing we could.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about it. It's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
I also feel the same way about the area because I grew up in the middle of nowhere and was bullied constantly when I was a kid and never felt like I really belonged out there. And I still feel that way, but in Burlington, I don't feel that way at all. I feel like I fit in just as much as anyone else in this area, so I very much
Yeah.
feel that community vibe. You're a yoga instructor.
Yep.
You're in a cover band from the 90s, which is amazing. Laser Dad. I needed to re-say the name because it's just so amazing. Laser Dad, the 90s band. And you're also in your own band, Jesse Taylor Band, the Jesse Taylor Band. And you also play solo shows. Is there anything else you're hiding that you do in this community that is really cool that we could talk about?
Well, I think that's pretty much all I have to offer right now.
That's quite a lot.
Well, you know, it's funny because my other side hustles are like dog sitting, house sitting, but I don't need to plug myself for that right now because I have like my sweet spot of like amount of gigs per year. I'm like figuring that, you know.
Yeah, definitely gonna rein it in a little.
Yeah. I think that's good for now. Yeah. But I've found that is better for me. This is like, I guess it's been a year and a half now of like not working a 40-hour a week job, just like pushing myself to do that because that's what everybody is doing and need to pay my bills and blah blah blah. I did the food service thing for like 10 years and was like so miserable. So I'm like, my brain just does way better with like 5 different little things throughout the week.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you can live that way, that's what so many other people aspire to do, is just live being happy and support themselves. That's the dream, right?
Yep.
So the yoga studio, where is the yoga studio located?
So Sangha, there's 2 locations. There's one on Pine Street, 120 Pine Street, I believe it is. So not over here. It's kind of more in town.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The far end of Pine Street, near the city.
Yeah. So it's kind of like across from Ski Rack, kind of over there in that area.
Cool.
And then there's one in the Old North End too, which is very convenient because it's like 5-minute walk from my apartment.
Awesome.
On North Winooski. So that's like right near. I guess they're building like a new grocery store across the street from where that is right now. It's kind of near like Bush and Babes. I don't know if you're familiar with that area at all, but
that's awesome to hear, though. We could always use some more grocery stores.
Yeah. So, but that's been awesome. Yeah, it's a really great studio, and there's like so many teachers and class options, restorative and yin and flow and
awesome
slow massage flow.
So do you teach at both locations?
I do right now for like one more the last week of November, and then I'm gonna be just teaching over at the North Studio.
Yeah, I don't blame you for the winter, just not driving.
Yeah,
sounds
just like,
good.
Boom, walk out of my house, it's right there. So
cool.
Yeah.
So do you specialize in any special type of yoga?
I just do flow, pretty much regular hatha flow. Yeah, move with breath, nothing too.
I know nothing of yoga terms, so everything you just said to me sounds amazing.
It's like your average, if you were to go to, I don't know, a yoga studio and just go to your average flow or vinyasa class, or it might be labeled as hatha. There's a lot of different names for like similar styles, you know. It's not hot yoga.
I've heard of hot yoga, and is that the same as Bikram yoga?
Yes.
Am I okay?
Yes.
See, I kind of have.
Yeah,
I know some things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So, would this be something you call a beginner's course? If someone walked in, would you be teaching their beginner's course?
I would say that it is accessible to beginners, but some experience would be helpful.
Okay, so it's a little more intermediate.
Yeah, like if you would maybe want to know some of the basic poses, like down dog and
right.
But I don't go super fast. Like we pretty move with breath and try to make it pretty
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds inviting. Is it something how many classes do you teach a week?
2 a week right now. Yeah.
Nice.
Which has been good for me. Yeah, it's been like a year and a half ago I got my certification. And I kind of did my teacher training and wasn't really sure if I wanted to teach. I just was like, felt like I wanted to do that for myself to deepen my practice. And it was with 2 teachers who I really liked and felt the most connected with. And I was like, oh, they're doing a teacher training. I definitely need to do that. So I kind of was like, I don't even know if I'm going to want to teach. But then I ended up trying it and liking it. Of course, at first it's weird.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like anything, starting to perform or anything is weird. But it gets less and less uncomfortable, so that's good.
That's awesome. That's great to
Yeah.
hear. So how big are the classes normally? How many people?
Like, I would say 15 average.
That's pretty good
Yeah.
size.
I mean, the 6:30 a.m. class I have right now is usually, like, probably 2 to 8, but the...
Yeah. Well, it's early in the morning.
But the 7:30's been pretty good. Yeah, like 10, 15 people usually.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome to hear about.
Yeah. Which is the other great thing about Burlington. There's, like, so many yoga studios and, like, good food and
Yeah.
so many good local options and for, like, everything you could need.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Is there any other... Do you like going to the comedy club or anything like that?
I have not been to the comedy club. I was talking to my roommate about this actually recently. Like, I've been here now all these years and I have yet to go in there. So that's on my list this winter.
I also have not been, so...
Yeah.
I also haven't been a lot of places. If you had to pick a favorite restaurant,
Oh.
someone held you down, made you pick. I know it's hard.
I almost was like, what genre? That's not like a word you use for restaurants. What's the word I'm looking for?
Cuisine type.
Like, okay, Revolution Kitchen was on the tip of my tongue and I wanted to say it as soon as you asked that. And maybe that's because I went there last night. But maybe that's because it's one of my favorite restaurants. But if I'm on the mood for, like, pho, I'm going to Pho Hong.
Right.
Thai, Tiny Thai.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the great thing about this city.
Revolution Kitchen. Really good.
Awesome.
I'm also a vegetarian, so, obviously that influences my decision
Yes. You
in being a vegetarian restaurant. But
can't go to every single place
Yeah.
and get quite as great of a meal. Yep. I feel you. I've been doing the keto diet and finding good salads is turning into this whole adventure that I never thought would be so hard.
have you been to Tom Girl?
I have not. Where's
It's
that one located?
A little expensive, but it's really good, and I bet they could hook you up. The Soda Plant.
Nope, I haven't. See, I haven't heard. Plug away.
It's like Pine Street. I mean, shit.
Soda. Is that one way down near the end? Because I've walked this
Citizen
edge.
Cider.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
I don't know if it's before or after that. It's like a big parking lot. It's like a big square parking lot. Brio Coffee Works.
Yes, I have seen this.
The
place.
Soda Plant is what the whole area is called. But anyway, there's a place called Tom Girl Juice. Obviously,
oh, really?
They have
awesome.
amazing juices, but they also have like a big ass salad bar.
Oh,
with like avocado and
are they
hard-boiled
open
eggs and
for dinner?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Check it out.
That sounds like a place I definitely need. See, there's so many little places in Burlington tucked in that I just never went to when I was a kid because we'd come here to buy clothes. We'd come here to go to the mall and turn around and go.
The pit?
Yeah, like, exactly. We go to that pit in the ground and then we'd go home after we went to like the Olive Garden or whatever.
Yeah.
Just whatever easy restaurant that was right on a convenient roadway usually, just because it was literally an hour here and an hour back. So we're not here to go explore the city. We're here for business, basically. So I totally miss out. Like, I didn't know Radio Bean existed really.
Yeah,
they
have great food too. The restaurant Duino that's attached to Radio Bean. It's like
cool.
The three.
Yeah, because there's like the
lamp
light shop,
yeah,
the lamp shop, and the
light club lamp shop. If you want to get
that one confuses me because there's also a light club down here by Arts Riot, but it's
confusing.
not the same business. But I want it to be because my brain can't handle the naming that is too similar. Okay, so Tom Girl?
Yep.
Tom Girl Juice. Awesome.
Yep.
I need to check this place out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the recommendation. Love it.
Yep.
Those. Don't know where anything is.
And if you do go to Revolution Kitchen, I mean, everything's great, but the buffalo cauliflower tacos.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And where's Revolution Kitchen? I've heard multiple people tell me about that one, but I don't know
Daily
where it
Planet,
is.
you know where that is?
Yes.
It's
the one
right on
next
that little
to it.
strip.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love that little road. That's one of my favorite
with
little roads.
With the cute little mural.
Cool. Okay, yes, I do know where that is. See, I walk by it and it just...
Yep. I always crave it. Sorry, I interrupted you. I always crave it on Sundays and Mondays for some reason. So, like, last night I was, like, about to go to City Market Heart Bar or something. And I was like, it's Friday night. I'm fucking taking myself to Revolution Kitchen and, like, getting it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I need to check that place out. There's so many different places to check out.
I mean, yeah, check out Sangha, I guess, if you haven't. Totally. Bunch of classes, 2 locations. And it's the only nonprofit studio in town, and it's donation-based. So that's pretty cool, too. You can pay what you can, you know.
That's really cool.
Yoga can be expensive and inaccessible to people, so it's really cool to have options. And memberships are like $60 a month, which is pretty sweet, too. Unlimited yoga at both studios, so.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, that's not too bad if you want to go to 3-4 classes a week. That's
right.
Definitely reasonable.
Yeah, and we're about to do the schedule shift, like start our winter schedule or whatever, December 1st, so there'll be some new class options like late night restorative and stuff, which is really
awesome.
Nice, like less movement, you know, hang out in poses and close your eyes and
relaxation a little more.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's a good wintertime activity.
Nice. So do you want to tell us a little bit about upcoming shows you have with either of your bands or any of your solo shows?
Yeah. So I guess I'll just spew the next couple months, I guess. Here we are almost in December already.
Almost. It's if anyone is curious, it's November 23rd. It's Saturday, November 23rd, 2019. Yeah. Go ahead. Spew your shows.
All right. Friday the 13th, December 13th. Jesse Taylor Band at Radio Bean from 10 to 11. We'll do an hour of originals. That's a $5 cover. And then the following day, December 14th, I'll be with Laser Dad at Arts Riot. We're doing this fun 80s versus 90s fight night. So there's also an 80s cover band, and I think they have some originals too called Night Protocol.
Oh my god.
So it's like Night Protocol versus Laser Dad, and we're like going to be on stage together and like 80s song, 90s
amp
song.
versus amp. Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, pick your decade and rock it out, and we'll see you there because that'll be a fun one for sure. And then New Year's Eve weekend, December 28th, Jesse Taylor Band at Stowe Cider. We just booked that gig, so that will be cool. That's like 4 to 7 p.m., so it'll be like a nice little après ski cider music hang.
Yeah, that's a pretty long gig.
Yeah. So we're going to learn some covers, I guess.
Nice.
And then Laser Dad New Year's Eve at J Peak.
Cool. Yes.
Will be really fun. 90s party.
Hilariously fun.
So.
I'm tempted to go myself.
Which is great because I'm like, you know, I'm on this like kick of not drinking right now, and like I love having like music or like a show to play or something on like celebration days or something. Because I'm like, it gives me something to do or whatever.
Yeah, and you get that adrenaline kick too. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's pretty much it for now. I mean.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, do you want to give your contact details?
Sure.
Yep, whatever you want to share. No pressure.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't have to give your number.
So yeah, we're on Facebook at Jesse Taylor Band. It's just, I think, facebook.com/Jesse Taylor Band. And then, yeah, Laser Dad, we're on Facebook too. You can just type in Laser Dad. I don't know how many other bands are called that, so you'll probably find us.
I bet we'll find you.
Laserdad.com. We have a website, actually, which is pretty cool because we haven't gotten that far with JTB. I'm still kind of working out the kinks on how to make that happen. So
if you need any WordPress help, let me know.
All right, I will, for sure. I'll keep that in mind. And then good old Instagram at Jesse Taylor, but the O is a 0. JESSETAYL0R. And then at Jesse Taylor Band for the band, and then at laser.dad, and that's laser with a Z.
So awesome. Well, thank you very much, Jesse, for being on my show. This has been a lot of fun. Please reach out to Jesse if you have any questions, if you want to check out the band. I'm so excited to check out Laser Dad. This sounds like so much fun. So you should all come to the show and check that out on
December 14th at Arts Riot.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. Take care of yourselves.
Woo! Another big thank you to Jesse for being on the show. Please rate the show, please subscribe on your chosen platform, and please share this show with your friends and family who you think would be interested in it. Head over to burlingtontalks.com for the show notes. The show notes include all the links to different places and events that we talked about today. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day. Bye now.